The man first uses a drill to widen the inside of the bullet casing, then blows away the residue, flattens the bottom of the casing and pours gunpowder through a funnel. Once he confirms the weight is correct, he places the bullet onto a hydraulic press for processing. One bullet is now complete. He's actually a skilled hunter. Any target he sets his eyes on rarely escapes. Watching the wolves retreat from the gunshots, Harry decides not to keep shooting. Instead, he follows the wolves at a distance on a snowmobile. Soon, he notices something unusual, a trail of footprints and traces of blood in the snow. Alongside the footprints are spots of blood scattered around. His hunter's intuition tells him something unusual has happened ahead, and follows the footprints to investigate. Soon, he finds a spot with signs of struggle. Not far from the footprints, he notices a hint of blue. As he gets closer, he realizes it's a woman frozen into a statue, and she looks very much like a friend's daughter. Seeing her frostbitten blackened feet, Harry realizes this situation is not simple. He calls the local police, but the sheriff suggests bringing in specialists. After waiting for a while, an investigator finally arrives. After brief introductions, they set out on snowmobiles to the scene. The snow, unpredictable like a young girl, reveals the girl's wide-open eyes and blood-stained lower body. The investigator asks the sheriff to send her to a forensic hospital. They begin cutting ice to transport her back, while the investigator asks Harry if anyone lives nearby. Confidently, Harry responds no, since this is his hunting ground, though he mentions that people sometimes come to party here. Harry even suggests she may have died from inhaling too much cold air, causing a lung rupture, which almost convinces the investigator. Later, at the hospital, they learn from the coroner that the woman, despite having head injuries, frostbitten feet, and signs of assault, died primarily from a ruptured lung. The cause matches Carrie's guess, but the investigator suspects foul play and wants the coroner to mark it as homicide in the report. The coroner, however, refuses. Without the coroner's help, they can't bring in more specialized help. The investigator tries to persuade the sheriff, but he's also unable to help, leaving the investigator to clear his head outside. The sheriff follows, agreeing with him but saying it's out of his hands. Meanwhile, Harry finds his friend, sympathizing over his daughter's death, but that's not what the man wants to hear. He tells Carrie, "If you go this route, I don't care who's who. I'll understand." Only the man knows Carrie is more than just a hunter. The investigator and sheriff find the woman's brother nearby and plan to question him, but the person who opens the door is clearly intoxicated. Before they can even ask a question, the two are sprayed in the face with pepper spray, rendering them temporarily blind. Meanwhile, Harry, at the back door, picks up a nearby shovel as someone tries to flee. Harry takes care of two birds with one stone. The investigator, gun in hand, searches the room and reaches a hallway. An entire magazine is emptied, leaving the attacker dead. Once they confirm no one else is present, they leave. The bewildered young man outside wonders why they've detained him. The investigator informs him of his sister's death, which he finds hard to believe as they had dinner together just a few days before. Harry confirms it, and the brother is momentarily speechless. His sister had simply wanted to spend Christmas together, and the shock renders him incoherent. They hadn't imagined the night would turn out so tragically. Before the two can even start celebrating, a drunken coworker arrives and sees the woman, forcing her to huddle close to her boyfriend. The drunk coworker sits on the bed, provoking the woman and even pulling at the covers, only to be kicked off the bed by her boyfriend. Unfazed, he continues taunting them. The boyfriend pushes him away and closes the door, preparing to get dressed and take the woman away. Others become angry. The woman, confused, is slapped, while her boyfriend takes the opportunity to attack the taunting coworker. Others intervene, dragging the boyfriend away as the woman is knocked unconscious. Seeing the woman on the bed, the coworker's desire intensifies, forcing himself on her. Her boyfriend uses his last bit of strength to hold them off, allowing her to escape. Seeing her beaten boyfriend, the woman realizes she must flee to survive. She opens the door but forgets the cold, harsh weather outside. She collapses in the freezing snow. All of this is Carrie's speculation, but he still informs her brother, who is horrified by what his sister endured and is determined to catch her killers. Hearing this, the brother finally provides useful information, mentioning that his sister's boyfriend works at a nearby drilling site. This gives Carrie a lead to find the killer, and by the next day, they devise an action plan. Midway through, Carrie splits from the group to take on the role of a sniper, while the others follow the main road toward the drill site. Upon arrival, they are met by guards who remind them that the area is privately leased. The sheriff acknowledges this, and when questioned about their purpose, the female investigator explains their mission. The guards then lead them to the person they're seeking, though midway, the guards subtly form a circle around them. Neither side is willing to lower their weapons. The guards warn them that only the investigation bureau has jurisdiction here and that the local town officials violated protocol by intruding, urging them to leave. The argument intensifies until someone steps forward. The investigator's identity becomes crucial, preventing a needless standoff. Despite some doubts, once the investigator holsters his gun, the guards slowly lower theirs as well, and the officers do the same. The investigator insists they be taken to the suspect, and the head guard finally leads the way to a mobile home, their target. Meanwhile, from the mountaintop, Harry spots the investigator's team entering the drill site. He quickly grabs his radio to call the investigator, but there's no response. Sensing trouble, Harry retrieves his sniper rifle, ready to provide cover. The investigator tries to twist the doorknob but can't open the door. He asks the head guard to confirm the suspect's presence inside. The guard assures him the suspect is there. In an instant, the situation escalates as an assault rifle emerges from the window, taking an unprepared officer by surprise and killing him. The investigator tries to warn the sheriff, but he collapses as well, leaving only the deputy with a little strength to fight back. But the deputy, too, is quickly shot dead by the guards. The investigator, trying to resist, loses his gun to the guards as their leader moves to finish him off. The last two remaining look around, confused by the gunfire with no one in sight. Before they can comprehend, they each receive a bullet, as two guards inside the room desperately try to locate the sniper. One of them, terrified, scrambles to escape, smashing through a window and jumping outside. Thinking the sniper hasn't spotted him, he only wants to get home but fails to notice the investigator hiding nearby. After getting shot once, he stands and runs into the distance. But the investigator's bullets have run out, leaving him unable to finish him off. Soon after, the sniper, Harry, finds the investigator and helps him into a room, checking his wounds. Thankfully, the investigator's injury was only from a bullet fragment, not a full shot. The investigator insists that Carey pursue the fleeing man, promising he won't ask questions about the man's fate. Meanwhile, the escaping man dashes through the forest, feeling as if a wild beast is chasing him. At every rustle, he draws his gun to survey the surroundings, but it gives him no sense of security. His sense of danger grows until he realizes the sound was just an animal, finally allowing him to relax. But before he can recover, he hears Carey nearby admiring the beauty of the snowy peak. The man doesn't listen as his feet feel frozen to the bone. This is all part of Carey's plan. He wants the man to experience the same despair he caused the girl. The man tries to surrender, pleading with Carey for mercy. Harry agrees but with one condition. If the man confesses his crimes, he'll be given a chance to live. The man immediately confesses everything, recounting how he assaulted the girl that night and even killed her boyfriend. Hearing this, Carey approaches him. He pulls out a small knife, terrifying the man into begging for his life. But Carey merely cuts the rope binding him, telling him he's free to go. However, freedom is not what the man expected. Still, under Carey's threat, he stands up, although he doesn't dare move away. Harry gives him a push to help him along. Panicking, the man runs, but after less than 100 meters, he collapses in the snow, his survival instincts driving him to crawl forward. Harry isn't worried he'll escape. Soon enough, the man succumbs to exhaustion. Perhaps he didn't mean to do evil, but wrong actions bring consequences. When Carey visits the investigator, he informs him of the man's fate. To the investigator, this news brings some relief. Trying to lighten the mood, Carey picks up a magazine and shares the latest headlines, while the investigator quietly listens.